Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the deep playthrough of Hitman World of Assassination. Since the previous episode, apparently, I don't know if I can see it here, but an update dropped to the game which had as one of the fixes some kind of a memory leak for DLSS. So I really stopped hoping for any significant improvement, considering how often the game crashed, even for a game that is out for this long already. So I really don't have my hopes up, but of course there is a small chance that maybe that improves the continuous crashing, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I don't want to get my hopes up. Anyways, we are going to do the whole murder mystery. That's I had to start back from a earlier save, so we have to do some clues that we also already did in the previous episodes. But still, the idea is to get all the clues and everything done. So here we go. We have to scan this guy.
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47.
Alright, so we already read all that intel that we got in the previous episodes, including this one.
Zachary's suicide note. Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity.
Right.
I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
I don't think we did such a thorough search, actually.
Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night. Not exactly what you would expect from someone suicidal.
Because I remember over here we go to Zachariah's room. Yeah, now it doesn't list the amount of clues. Yesterday I had like multiple rooms. That's maybe after you speak to the butler. You get all kinds of intel categories from rooms that you can investigate for clues in the murder mystery, but maybe that only kicks in after you speak to the butler now. Anyways, yesterday said I got that same message from Diana saying, okay, you're good to go, go to the butler. But then I went to the intel and it only said Zachary's room 5. No, here it is again. 5 out of 6 clues found. So there apparently is still something to find here. Did I already pick up? Yeah. Maybe there's some hidden clue that we will only be able to interact with later on. I have no clue. Maybe that camera? Maybe we have to scan some other items? No idea. Here we go. Nice. What was that whiskey thing? Here it is. A whiskey glass and bottle found on Zachary Carlyle's bedside table. Alright, so now we are good here. And let's go and see the butler. Man, it would be amazing if the game stops crashing. That would be such a big change because it crashed so often in Mumbai, in Marrakesh, there were areas where it consistently crashed in the same place. In Dubai as well. Also, over here I had one crash, I think, or maybe two, in Dartmoor. But the patch note said something about a memory leak, and that indeed was also thinking it seemed something like that the game, because there was no rhyme or reason to it. It just randomly crashes. Anywho, stop.
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Well, that means the staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
Mr. Fernsby?
Mr. Whitmer, you have enough evidence to present your case for Madame Carlyle?
No, not yet.
Come and see me when you do.
So how does one solve a murder mystery, 47? Motive, means, and opportunity, I believe. May I suggest you ask the suspects for alibis? Or perhaps you prefer searching the manor for clues first?
Alright, let's get some alibis, but I think now we have this list. Now indeed in the intel section you have different categories of rooms or areas that you can obtain clues and intel from. Let's start again with this guy. We already did it in the previous episode, but I want to gather all the clues now again.
I'm gonna hang up. Let's talk when you've calmed the fuck down.
Patrick Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Shit, it's that sneaky butler, isn't it? He ratted me out. Elaine, give us some privacy, would you? Don't tell Mother, okay? She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind. If that's all, I think I'll get back to my slow death by boredom.
What did you think of Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live in a museum. You know, Father says Zachary and Alexei used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him. Then suddenly, he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy chose looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles. So, is that it?
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
Nah. I reckon Zachary tops himself. I know I would have. Or perhaps Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it.
Alright, I think that was it. Let's talk to some other peoples. Family members. Bathroom we already checked out.
Patrick token to Madame Carlyle's daughter.
This we already checked out. And this, where does this go? Yes, this is, I think, her sister, Alexa's sister.
Rebecca Carlyle, can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers and I. I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps.
She's a
Now,
daughter of
let's see.
Alexa.
Patrick, Gregory's son, disappeared straight after dinner. You know, I think he might be in some sort of trouble. Edward wanted to go as well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 8:45. I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room. and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange. You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is that everything, Mr. Whitmer?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends.
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's room early this afternoon. And he seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
I don't think there is anything else. No button prompt anymore. The youngest child of Alexa Carlisle, Rebecca, is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. Rebecca says Patrick disappeared after dinner last night and may be in some sort of trouble. Edward and Gregory, I have no idea who Edward is, went to a local pub after having drinks at the mansion. Emma acted strange, but Rebecca does not know how she spent the evening. Rebecca herself claims to have been in a conference call from her laptop in her bedroom at the time of Zachary's death. Rebecca adds that Zachary was more talkative than usual and was inquiring into her connections in the publishing business on behalf of a friend. And was inquiring into her connections in the publishing business on behalf of a friend. Lastly, Rebecca says she found Mr. Fernsby leaving Zachary's room this afternoon.
Phil, did you find out if the vote was notarized? But how the hell did that happen? No, we all signed it. I gave it to him in person. He says he got it notarized the very same day. Right, listen. You go to their office and ask for Cheryl. She's the best they've got. Tell her you want to see the records. Don't take no for an answer. And call me as soon as you've got them.
Some clipping going on through
We'll
the
get to
painting.
the bottom of this.
Not sure what that is all about. Four birdies in a cage. Pick up the fuse, why not? Maybe we need it later on. Or did I already have one? No. Alright, we can poison somebody here. It's again that freaky painting with a huge rabbit compared to the dog besides it. It's like 3-4 times bigger than the dog. Butterflies.
You look tanned. I bet Mother spent the last week at her Cyprus estate. Am I right?
I'm not at liberty to say, ma'am.
Oh, come on. I need to know what's going on. This affects me too, you know.
Did she?
Oh, hi Martin, Rebecca here. I need you to dig up the contract we have with the law firm Morgan, Yates and Co. No, I think they revoked the unanimous vote on prolonging the lease to the New York run. I know they can't do that.
did she
why I
take a
got
sip?
contact.
I don't know.
In Sydney? Why wasn't I told?
I'll get right on it. Do you have his number? Send it to me. Thanks.
Right, she said law firm Morgan Yates and blah blah blah. I think that's the guy that we killed in Bangkok. That was a lawyer called Morgan, I'm pretty sure. I do like these little references. Right, so this is a distraction device. Let's see who will come over. Nobody.
You've got to be kidding me.
Right, do I want to take her out? Do I need to take her out? Not really, not now. Let's not take any
I'm good.
unnecessary
but I'm
risks. Oh, she almost was suspicious of me because I was close to... I always forget that. Even if you do something that's not suspicious, like turning on a gramophone player, then because it is a distraction, if you linger around, people will become suspicious and you can lose your silent assassin rating. Anywho, we can blend in over here, probably serve some drinks. Can we talk with this dude?
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Is that all? Not very thorough, are you?
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle, but who could blame him? Only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger bore. He's better off dead. Anything else you want to pry from my intricate intellect?
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing, really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
Right, but that's of course because she is a Providence member and they're being hunted by the Constants. I forgot his real name. Arthur something. Is that maybe over here somewhere? One moment. Arthur Edwards. That Providence is lost to the machinations of their top controller, the Constant, Arthur Edwards. But that's the reason why she needs to fake her death. Because already, that is what we did ourselves. In Dubai, we already took out 2 other Providence board members. Carl Ingram and Marcus Stuyvesant in Dubai. But yeah, she knows that she's being hunted, so she faked her own death. Alright, some pictures. Pretty freaky family.
Emma Carlisle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around 8 o'clock. Is that all?
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest. His presence was always awkward. How do you have a meaningful conversation with a man who only cares about plants? In my opinion, Alexa bears some responsibility for how this ended. She supported his self-limiting behavior by letting him live here. Anything else you want to know?
Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing special comes to mind. Except, perhaps, I did get a feeling that Zachary was depressed, not just sad. I suppose he realized that he had no one with Alexa gone. Even Alexa must feel the pangs of guilt over that one, letting him believe she was dead. Then again, guilt isn't her strong suit.
Right, that is Emma. That guy was, I think, Gregory. The other woman, I have no idea. So we have Patrick, Fernsby, Butler at Thornbridge Manor. Mr. Fernsby is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. Mr. Fernsby clarified upfront that he was working in his office last night and does not have an alibi. Son of Emma and Gregory, Patrick is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. Patrick claims he was with a staff member called Rosie at the time of Zachary's death. He says he found Zachary creepy as hell and to have no ambition, and adds that the deceased once had a promising career but gave it up to live in isolation. Lastly, Patrick suggests Zachary might have killed himself or that Mr. Fernsby could have done it. The wife of Gregory and daughter-in-law to Madame Carlisle, Emma is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. She claims to have gone to bed with an awful migraine when Edward and Gregory had a drink around 8 p.m. last night. Emma says Zachary's company was always awkward due to his all-consuming fascination with plants. She says she considers Madame Carlisle at least partially responsible for his supposed suicide because she allowed Zachary to become a recluse. Lastly, Emma states that she has seen nothing out of the ordinary except that Zachary appeared depressed after the apparent loss of his sister, Madame Carlisle. Right, I don't know when they were all notified that Alexa Carlisle actually faked her death but was alive after all, because they all came here for her funeral. At one point they must have been informed that it was a fake death. But okay, apparently this guy, according to Emma, the Zachary was depressed, but the other woman said he was super talkative. But yeah, that does not necessarily conflict if the talkative part is after he got informed that she was alive after all. Rebecca Carlisle questioned. The youngest child of Alexa Carlisle, Rebecca is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. Rebecca says Patrick disappeared after dinner last night and may be in some sort of trouble. Edward and Gregory went to a local pub after having drinks at the mansion. Emma acted strange, but Rebecca does not know how she spent the evening. Rebecca herself claims to have been in a conference call from her laptop in her bedroom at the time of Zachary's death. Rebecca adds that Zachary was more talkative than usual and was inquiring into her connections in the publishing business on behalf of a friend. Lastly, Rebecca says she found Mr. Fernsby leaving Zachary's room this afternoon, and that he seemed startled when he noticed her. We already read this one, sorry. Edward Carlisle, the middle child of Alexa Carlisle. Edward is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. Alright, we still have to check him out. I have no idea where he is. Gregory Carlisle, the oldest child of Alexa Carlisle. Gregory is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. He claims to have been at a pub with Edward at the time of Zachary's death to escape Emma's headache and his obnoxious sister Rebecca. Gregory describes Zachary as an alcoholic recluse with a passion for rare plants. Other than that, Gregory is amused at his mother's apparent mistakes and describes himself as enjoying the show. Zachary Carlisle, Alexa's younger brother and fellow resident of Thornbridge Manor, Zachary was found dead in his bed this morning, and despite a suicide note and doors locked from the inside, Alexa is convinced he was murdered. Right, this is the token. We already picked that up in the previous episode, but I have to do it again because I reloaded the game from before I picked it up. But that's not... the focus now is really the murder mystery. So we, I think, only need to check out one dude. And that is Edward. Where is Edward? Edward, where are you? Right, they are now all gathering. Is that because Alexa is going to give a speech? No, she is leaving. Yeah, this is an illegal action apparently. I will not do it, I will do it later. I would like to keep silent assassin during this investigation. Let's just not try to do all kinds of risky stuff. What the hell are those?
Yes, hi Cassie.
Two roses.
Edward, I know I'm not supposed to leave you messages, and this is the last time, I promise. It's just, I don't know how to handle this whole situation. I don't think I can really. I can't feel my legs, and my eyes are not working properly. This flicker thing again. You can't tell anyone, but the thing is, I've been asked to perform the eulogy at the funeral event tomorrow. I know it all sounds so unbelievable. But even though Mother is still alive, we still have to go through with the funeral. I have to write the eulogy. I don't think I can. She will definitely want to read it, and no matter what. I just know she'll be disappointed in me. Again. My legs are really weird. I need you, Cassie. I'm sorry. I know. I'll hang up. Not supposed to do this. Christ, sorry. Bye.
Right, Edward. Poor guy.
Professor Edward Carlisle, can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes, this dreadful business with Zachary. I stay at the local inn. You see, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. My brother Gregory came along for a nightcap. He'll never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. If that's all, I have a speech to write.
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, he was upset by Mother's supposed death. We were. But he seemed more engaged than usual. You should ask Rebecca. They had a long talk. Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years? His plants, Mother, and the staff, all the company he had. Anything else I can do to help?
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
You mean apart from the fact that we came here to bury our mother and she shows up alive and kicking? Zachary found dead in his bed this morning? Or perhaps that the planned funeral is still taking place and I have to do the eulogy? And Mother will surely have a strong opinion on it afterwards. I can't breathe. Excuse me.
Right. That's indeed quite a hectic day. Alibi confirmed. Right, so that also makes Gregory's alibi confirmed. Yes. The middle child of Alexa Carlisle, Edward, is a suspect in the murder of Zachary Carlisle. Edward says he is staying at the local inn and that he and Gregory were having drinks there at the time of Zachary's death. He's unsure if Zachary could have killed himself and suggests you ask Rebecca as the two of them had a long talk. Edward finds both Alexa's fake death and Zachary's apparent suicide unsettling, but has nothing else to add. Right, some food on the table in a painting.
You always led by example rather than by words and meaningless gestures. Like hugs, encouragement. Just a single spontaneous caress, what a difference that would have made. Right. I clearly remember when I was 5. I climbed a tree and could not make my way down. I was scared and called out for help. Of all people, you heard me, and when you saw me, you climbed a tree. I was relieved that help had finally arrived. But you went down immediately and said, when a grown-up can do it, so can you, Edward. You are 5, and climbing trees is supposed to be your area of expertise. Oh no, that won't go. You'll just think I remember this because I'm Wulk.
Right, I'm also just checking out the art a little bit, etc. A lot of, or only hunting paintings and family pictures.
He plays the strings of my heart with that piano. I can feel the hair on my neck stand.
You have a way with words, Stan.
Why waste away in front of the books when he can play like that? That music makes my heart soar.
You and me both.
This is a table for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I promised I wouldn't call you again, Cass, but just wanted you to know I feel a little better.
16 people, I think.
No need to worry. It's just this place, I guess. I feel like it's watching me. Noticing every little mistake I make. Also, I should be glad Mother is still alive, but the weight of her expectations. This eulogy. I really want to do well. For her to be proud of me. For once. She won't know. Oh God, now I can't feel my arms either. I'm really not coping too well. Not coping at all, actually. I mean, I shouldn't even be saying anything. We need to keep it all secret, you see. So, bye. Won't call you again. Promise.
Settle down soon.
So annoying if you don't know where dialogue is coming from.
Tell me. She scolded Mary for not making the bed the way she prefers it. It's so unfair. She just discovered Zachary's dead body and was all shook up. I tried to tell her that, and do you know what she said? She said, "Things will change around here. I can promise you that."
I saw her rearranging the photos in the sitting room, hiding Madam in the back, and then moving Montgomery to the front. She's not right in her head. Why would she do that? He died almost 50 years ago. Oh, thank God Madam Carlyle is still alive.
Did all the groceries arrive? I heard some of the delivery people were unhappy with the security at the gate. But that is safe with Ethel. She never misses a step. Gossiping and work both.
I'm getting a headache from all the decisions. I mean, pram or stroller, comforter or not. Should I marry me? What should I do?
Alright, just checking out if there's any useful object here.
To come after certainly are a lot less of a worry.
What is it?
She saw her on the top floor, stroking the door to Alexa's office. I kid you not.
Alright, let's listen to this speech.
But all
also a great inconvenience, as it happened just now. I'm dealing with the situation in a discreet and efficient way, and I expect your cooperation in all related matters. Secondly, the arranged funeral event tomorrow will take place as planned. No one can know that I am still alive. I expect you all to act your part. Last, as you all know, I have a lot on my plate and need to focus on sorting everything out, so please do not disturb me with your petty concerns. You are all adults, and as part of the elite, you will eventually have to deal with difficult situations like this. It comes late for most of you, but this is a chance for you to show what you are made of. That will be all.
Right. Stern message. Right. What I find annoying is these random dialogues of...
Can't wait to get our hands on Thornbridge Manor.
NPC.
So 41 guests will attend the funeral tomorrow. There's still a lot to see to, but we're in good time, I think.
I can't deal with all this pretend funeral stuff just now. I know I have to, but Amy thinks she might be pregnant. I'm going to be a dad.
You'll be fine, Robbie. Kids are great.
But sometimes these dialogues are too vague to make out, or you only hear half of it, and I'm not sure. There can be some relevant clues in there. There was...
I need to stop thinking about Emma all the time, but she just makes me so angry.
What is it now?
Turned up and demanded to be put up in Madame Carlyle's bedroom. We're the new heads of the family after all. It is only fitting, she said. Well, Gregory put a stop to that, which was a surprise. He normally accepts his wife's outrageous behaviour without batting an eyelid. But staying in his mother's bed so soon was just a bit steep, I suppose.
I saw her rearranging the photos in the sitting room, hiding Madame in the back, and then moving Montgomery to the front. She's not right in her head. Why would she do that? He died almost 50 years ago.
This is the one I meant. I was like, is that like... Is that a
How are
relevant
things coming
clue?
along inside? Is everything ready for tomorrow?
Fake funeral tomorrow. Zachary found dead upstairs today. Death is everywhere. I never thought of it that way. Oh, God. It's such a big responsibility having a baby.
That dreadful woman, Emma.
Protect it, right?
She's threatened half the staff that things will have to change once I'm in charge.
You love her, she
We're
loves
all just
you.
relieved
And
Madame
now
Carlyle is
on the
well,
way.
and Emma won't be moving
I'll say
in.
you're one
All
lucky
things do
bastard.
eventually come to an end, Ethel. There's nothing you can do about that.
No, sir.
And maybe keep your feelings about Emma Carlyle to yourself.
Yes, Mr. Fernsby.
Right, so Emma is the main suspect, if you ask me. But I was on these dialogue conversations. They can be genuine clues,
Party's coming
maybe.
along outside. Will everything be ready for the funeral event tomorrow?
I would say so, Mr. Fernsby. As long as the birds don't make too much of a mess. May I add that the undertaker, Mr. Parsons, is not happy about putting on a pretend funeral. He's worried about his reputation if it gets out.
Yes, I expected as much.
For not making the
Certainly
bed
are
the way
strange
she
days.
prefers it.
I suppose we'll never get an explanation.
It's not our place to question Madame Carlyle.
And was all shook up.
I know.
I
Can't
tried
help
to
but
tell
wonder.
her, and do you know what she said? She said, things will change around here. I can
It's
promise
also
you that.
annoying if these conversations run through each other. Anyways, that previous conversation, they said something about Emma rearranging paintings in the living room with a Montgomery guy. Is that, I guess that is the ex-husband of Alexa. There was something here. Her older brother Montgomery took a fatal tumble from a balcony at the Carlisle ancestral estate, and his death hit the younger sibling. Anywho, following mental breakdown and institutionalization, Zachary abandoned his own promising career and shielded himself at Thornbridge Manor. where he has lived quietly as a recluse ever since. Alright, so Montgomery, Emma put Montgomery painting up in front, and I was like, probably there's a reason for that. But I was also like, is there maybe something behind those paintings, like a hidden safe or anything? Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Alright, that is classic firearms. That is a little bit over-exaggerated, I would say. Right, this is a pretty big gun display. I pretty much made the rounds on the ground floor. Staff toilets. Right, this is a new one still. Ah no, we checked it out. This is where we just came from. Yes, I wanted to check out the paintings in the living room. I find this painting a bit, the frame, it's a little bit
my perfect mother.
Standing out with the color.
Who would have thought? You fucked up, didn't you? Staging your own death? A major, grandiose cock-up, I'd say.
Be quiet, Gregory.
It shows you're only human, after all. I never would have guessed.
Ah,
please stay back.
She takes a drink here. That's a poison opportunity. Right, where are the paintings of family members here? Don't even see them. Except maybe these. Maybe the guy in the middle is Montgomery.
Hello, Janice.
sir.
Rebecca Carlyle. I'm looking into some unauthorized transactions of funds from the New York branch in connection with my mother's death. No, Janice, that's not what I mean. External interference. I need to know if anything unusual like that has happened in Tokyo as well. A delay? No, you need to look into that right away. It could be something else. Right. Get back to me the second you know, okay? We need to get this under control.
Alright, let's also quickly follow. Yeah, she's a goner now, probably. I wanted to say follow Alexa Carlisle, see what her route is. Ah, here she is. Her route. Alright, you could smash her over the head with a fire poker. The problem with her is, I think, if you want to play around with different ways of killing her, is that she has a very long patrol, I expect. So if you need to do something anew,
hello there, sir,
or you screw up, then you may have to wait for her whole patrol to finish again before she comes by. Ah, although this is not that long. She's now only on the ground floor.
A toast to my mother, the living dead.
He's pretty annoying. Anywho. Nice detail. In the coffee cups you see like the light from outside reflected. In the coffee itself. If you're in the correct angle. I think, investigated everybody. But we still have to... What the hell? Zachary's bedroom, Zachary's body. No, this is his bedroom indeed. We have to do Emma in Gregory's room, Rebecca's room, Fernsby's office. That's basically it. And I would say also the greenhouse, because that is, I think, where Emma made lethal poison from aromatic poison plants.
Rebecca Carlyle here. I need access to some records from your office. Could you please call me back as soon as you get this message?
Alright, let's first do the butler office.
You need to explain yourself. I demand that you return my call ASAP. Sending a junior attorney is gross negligence of your responsibilities and will have consequences for your company and you personally as well. I will make sure of that. Mark my words.
Alright, she's not the nicest lady. So that helps with taking her out eventually. This is the butler's office and we are already over the 40...
That is the door to Mr. Fernsby's office.
We're already over
All the groceries arrived. I heard some of the delivery people were unhappy with the security at the gate. But why is safe with Ethel? She never misses a step. Gossiping and work both.
I'm getting a headache from all the decisions. I mean, pram or stroller, comforter or not. Should I ask her to marry me? What if she says no? And then this big funeral thing tomorrow? It's the last thing I need.
I remember how it was with the first one. The ones that come after certainly are a lot less of a worry.
Did Alice tell you what Emma did when she arrived?
What is it?
World Sports News, a new racing challenger.
Will you run through the delivery and make sure nothing is missing?
It's already done.
Cultural warfare in the countryside. Alright, anywho, we are already over the 45-minute mark, so I have to end the episode here, but in the next episodes, we will be... God damn it. I need a key. I know there's a master key to the whole house in this office, actually. I didn't pick up the... crowbar yet. I think there may be one over here. I could also be mistaken.
And she's never seen a dead body before.
Life can be tough sometimes.
And that detective asked to come here. Madame Carlyle must believe Zachary was murdered. Why else ask him to snoop around? I feel weak in my knees from all the tension here.
We'll all need a vacation when this is over.
Right. Let's quickly do Zachariah's office. And then end the episode. Alright, this is the master key. Super handy, I assume. Another fire poker. Mr. Fernsby's list. The office of Mr. Fernsby, the butler. The room is accessible through the storage room in the staff quarters on the ground floor of the mansion. A list written by Mr. Fernsby, the butler. It details various preparations for tomorrow's pretend funeral and a photo shoot scheduled for today by the fountain in the garden. The handwriting does not match Zachary Carlisle's suicide notes. Alright, so that exonerates him to a certain extent, maybe.
Zachary's diary. This is big. He was about to confess to the world that he and Alexa murdered their older brother Montgomery 46 years ago. And apparently, Mr. Fernsby helped make the murder look like an accident. And 47, the handwriting doesn't match the suicide letter in his room, proving he didn't write it himself.
Intriguing. Unless the murderer, of course, faked another handwriting. I also would not use my own handwriting when faking a suicide note of somebody I just killed or will soon kill. Anywho. Zachary's half-burned diary. Zachary Carlisle's diary found half-burned in the fireplace in Mr. Fernsby's office. The diary details how Zachary and Alexa conspired to murder their older brother Montgomery and how Mr. Fernsby helped them cover it up as an accident. Zachary was still plagued by guilt, and with Alexa presumed dead, he planned to publicly confess to his crimes. Curiously, this is a pretty cool story, by the way. The handwriting does not match the suicide note found in Zachary's bedroom. Alright, so that means it is not, Zachary didn't write a suicide note himself, I would say. That was maybe what Diana was referring to. Proving that he didn't write it, that it was Zachary himself who didn't write it. But I thought she was referring initially, I thought she was referring to Mr. Fernsby not writing the suicide note because his handwriting doesn't correspond to the note. But yeah, he could of course maybe change it a bit, his handwriting, for that fake suicide note. Right, where is the third clue? There is supposed to be another clue here.
Painkillers. Lethal if you use enough of them.
But not the poison used to kill Zachary. Of course, Madame Carlyle doesn't know that. Are you considering to frame the butler, 47?
Nope. A jar of pills found in Mr. Fernsby's office. The pills are lethal in large doses but do not match the marks on Zachary Carlisle's body and could therefore not have been the murder weapon. Right, so we found all the clues. Suspects. Did we exonerate him? A viable suspect still.
Mr. Fernsby clearly didn't commit the murder, but I think you have enough evidence to convince Madame Carlyle he did. Maybe you should tell him you are ready to present your findings. Unless, of course, you want to do some more detecting, 47?
Yeah, let's do some more detecting. It's a pretty cool verb. I didn't even know it was a verb. Detecting. From detective. Of course, I know the word detect, but I didn't realize you can use it also in the sense of performing private or investigator or detective duties. Then you are detecting clues. Anywho, I do have the feeling that the game is maybe a bit more stable since the latest patch, and if so, then I'm super happy because that will save me so much time. Before the game crashed, sometimes it took down the whole PC with it, and I lost hours and hours of footage. and to replay sections because the game in the PC just crashed. Would be amazing if that doesn't happen in the remaining levels. Right, there's a way to hide bodies over there. So here as well, yes. Alright, there we have the gun rack. Really slowly but surely trying to get a feel for the place. For example, where this staircase leads to. A library.
Oh, for one of his beautiful daughters.
I
Maybe
should
we should get
let
back
you
to...
get back to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, there's a romance blossoming there. I think this may be a challenge, by the way. Interacting with a radio. Or am I confusing that with the disturbing the silence challenge in Dubai, where you also had to annoy people with a radio? Ah, this is also a challenge, the gun rack. But let's do all these challenges. I'm not going to... Normally I'm easily distracted doing stuff along the way when I see it popping up, but let's indeed first finish this whole... there's a switch here. Let's first finish this whole murder mystery. Good to know that there's a switch there, so that's a secret passageway, another one. Stock market forwards. It also seems like the HDR is a bit better. Alright, so no crash in this first episode.
Damn.
Really happy with that.
Answer your bloody phone, you coward. How dare you deliver my knife like this? You're a nobody, a weasel, overreaching your competencies.
Ah, we can shoot her.
In way over your head.
With an accident
and
here.
I will make you pay. You can count on that.
Right, she really is a bit bitchy. Anyways, we have to end the episode here, guys.
Check his travel documents. I did, sir. It all checked out.
Alright, we will have to end the episode. We'll continue in the next one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you there. And for the meantime, do not forget, always do keep on gaming. See you later.